Who I got in the building with me?
Man, you got that boy Kalo, man. Represent that Grove side, man.
Real talk, straight out the Grove.
Hustle Holic.
Got that hot shit for me, nigga.
What? That's the name of it.
Come on now, let me hear that shit, nigga.
I be thumbing through racks with my eyes closed, plate full of wacky, big bag of gelato. Foot on their neck to secure my survival. Never let up, that my motherfucking motto. Bitches be happy to see me, can't wait to come greet me. They pull up to see my arrival. I keep that E like Diablo. Reach for the chain to get swallowed. The honey gon' jump on his arm. Leave your face looking like bottles, but don't get it twisted. I don't do this shit for bravado. I do this shit here to provide for my family. My people gon' eat, nigga. Fuck them a lot for I'm on the next level with this shit. And all it took was a vision. This shit is colossal. Did 11 off in prison, came home and got back to the business like I used to love.
So what you got coming up next, brother?
Oh man, I'm ready to drop this album, man. This album is gonna be monumental. You know what I'm saying? The name of the motherfucker is called Wrapped in the Arms of the Devil. You know what I'm saying? Ooh. So you could just picture me on the album cover, you know what I'm saying? With the devil behind me in female form, with like a god in the sky, with like a rope, a golden rope extending down to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking up. In the background, you're gonna have different scenes playing out. You're gonna have a scene where a dude walking into a schoolhouse with a gun, with a black shadow figure whispering in his ear. You're going to have a U.S. general and a Russian general with tanks lined at each other. Shadows whispering in their ear.
That sound like a pen and pixel pickle.
Yeah. This bitch going to be bad. I got my nigga working on it right now. I got a dude shooting another dude, you know what I'm saying? Black shadow whispering in his ear. Female holding a child away from his father. Shadow whispering in his ear. Dude beating up on females. Shadow whispering in his ear. Using drugs, shadows, you know what I'm saying? Everything that could be going wrong in society today.
Yes, it's on your album cover.
It's on there. So in the concept of the album is we be wondering why we be going through so much pain and suffering in this 2020 era, seeing some of the shit we never seen, pandemics across the globe. Yes. It's cause we wrapped in the arms of the devil, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And God there the whole time extending his grace down to us through this rope, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's on us to hold on, cause once we let go, nigga, you gone.
Yeah.
So this bitch bad.
When Keisha Hilliard learned that her man was finally coming home after serving 11 long years behind bars, she was ecstatic, the kind of blind, glowing joy only a woman with too much faith and not enough foresight can feel. A self-proclaimed activist, Keisha believed in redemption like it was religion, convinced that even a man who once made chaos his hobby could be rebranded into a changed man. Christopher Whitt, better known on the block as Holic Kalo, was supposed to be living proof of that transformation. A local rapper with big dreams and bigger delusions, he promised that prison had made him wiser, calmer, ready for real life. And Keisha, bless her optimism, believed him. Together they built a shaky fairy tale, 2 children, countless promises, and one woman carrying the weight of a man's second chance. But as it turns out, redemption looks good on paper and terrible in practice. Because when Christopher came face to face with the realities of manhood, fatherhood, and love, he collapsed under the pressure. And what followed was a brutal reminder that no matter how many prayers you whisper or babies you birth, you can't turn a felon into a father. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads. Back in 2021, Keisha was living the simple life while being an entrepreneur. With one of her 3 children already in their 20s and the other 2 almost grown, she was entering the soft era of her life, the one where a woman finally gets to breathe after years of sacrifice. She had raised her kids mostly on her own, built a small business from the ground up, and learned to enjoy her own company. Through her creative brand, OC Customs, she designed custom clothing, mugs, hats, and all sorts of artistic pieces that reflected her personality: bold, black, and unapologetically creative. It wasn't just a hustle, it was therapy. Her company allowed her to blend her love for culture and art into something that made people smile. When she wasn't working, Keisha was tending to her garden or spending time with her children. Her home was full of warmth, laughter, and the quiet satisfaction of a woman who had done life the hard way and was finally reaping a little peace. There was no drama, no chaos, just growth, flowers, and freedom. But peace never lasts long for women who have a weakness for believing in potential. That peace began to unravel with the reappearance of Chris. Fresh out after serving 11 years in prison, Whitt was a man who spoke about redemption, but carried the kind of energy that made redemption impossible. He was charming, confident, and full of the kind of words that sound good coming out of a man who hasn't had freedom in over a decade. He claimed to be different now, wiser, focused, grounded. It didn't take long for them to have their first child together. For Chris, it was his first baby ever, and he was overjoyed, the proud new father, posting pictures and promising to do right. For Keisha, it was a surprise chapter she hadn't expected to reopen. She thought her diaper days were behind her, but she was happy to share this moment with a man she believed was becoming her forever. But reality came quick. Parenthood didn't change Chris, it exposed him. His temper, insecurity, and need for control started to leak through. The same patterns that followed him since his teenage years, violence, immaturity, and deflection, began to resurface. Chris often talked about being raised by a single mom, about not having a father to teach him how to treat a woman. But that excuse only went so far before it turned into a shield against accountability. Their relationship grew tense. Love turned into loud arguments and long silences. By the time their baby was learning to walk, Keisha and Chris were already walking on eggshells. They broke up, got back together, and broke up again, a loop of dysfunction too familiar to count. Chris opened up about their rocky relationship during a super tight TV interview, where he detailed both his past and his time in prison. He spoke about his mistakes, but his tone carried that same undercurrent of deflection, as if life just happened to him instead of him causing it.
My son Legend.
Yes.
He was born at 23 weeks.
Preemie.
Wasn't supposed to live. He came out. He was breathing. He died twice. He stayed in the hospital for 5 months. I was there day for day with him, every day, changing diapers, cleaning them, just there sitting.
Yes.
And working 10-hour job. And, the stresses of that situation, the life or death of situation with my child, and then going through it with my baby mama, we at ours now. Okay. She going through postpartum, and I'm going through stresses and all kinds of shit. Yeah. So the relationship got rocky. I ain't gonna go into too much detail, but we split, and when we split, man, she took the baby like on some
spiteful shit,
man. Yeah, like, come on now.
And do you actually try to maintain that relationship with your kid?
Oh yeah, Like I say, I'm fighting every day for mine. Shit, while I'm up in here, I'm fighting. You know what I'm saying?
How old is he now?
He won. This is my first. I'm 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? So you can imagine. Just did 11 years in the penitentiary.
Yeah. You say you had some troubles with the law.
Oh yeah.
When did that start?
That started as soon as I turned 18. I'm talking about, man, a day after my birthday, man, I got locked up on an assault charge.
Who'd you assault?
Fighting in school. I flunked like 2-3 times, so you can imagine I'm 16, 17 years old, sitting in the classroom with 9th graders. And, I got to a little altercation with somebody and, fought them. But when the laws came, I was so much older than them, they called it a injury to a child and shit. So I got an assault charge,
And went to the pen for that?
I just that was the first time I went to the county.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They sent you to Lou Sterrett?
Lou Sterrett. Lou.
County Lou.
Yeah.
That's scary for how'd that make you feel?
Shit, I was ready for it. Like shit, man. In the 90s, man. That was the thing, man. That was the thing to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somehow,
rite of passage.
Yeah, it's a rite of passage. That shit made you cool.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that 11-year bid.
Hey, man, that 11 years was a motherfucker.
What was that one for?
That was for the dope case.
How much product was you moving?
Shit, I got caught with a half a bead. Got caught, bonded out. It got caught with another motherfucking package.
Damn.
It was crazy, man. That 11 years, man. It did a lot of good for me. Yeah. It held me back in areas, but it did a lot of good. And I mean by held me back, being locked up, I say for every 5 years that you locked up, you only age mentally probably a year and a half. So when I went in, I had just turned 25.
Yeah.
When I got out, I was 39 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So mentally, I was still like I only aged a few years. I came out probably like 28 in my mind. Probably why I got with my baby mama. She was 28.
The interview painted the picture of a man still stuck in adolescence, unable to control his emotions or understand the meaning of growth. It also explained why Keisha's efforts to build something with him were doomed. She wasn't dating a man who had grown. She was raising one who never did. By 2025, their love story had turned toxic, on and off, intimate one week, arguing the next. The kind of relationship where affection and aggression came from the same mouth. And when Chris felt rejected, he did what many emotionally unstable men do. He ran to social media. In January 2025, he made a bizarre post written as if it were from his 3-year-old son, Legend. "Hey, my name is Legend Whitt. I'm 3 years old, and today is the 4th day I've been reunited with my daddy after almost a year of being kept away from him. Until January 14th, I never had the chance to go to sleep and wake up to my daddy or be around my daddy longer than 3 hours a day. Saturday, my daddy say he gone throw a welcome home party for me this weekend." It was a post meant to tug at sympathy, a manipulative display of fatherhood meant to paint him as a victim. Chris presented himself as a man fighting to be in his child's life, when in reality, he was the reason the relationship kept collapsing. Keisha's response wasn't loud, but it was clear. She began posting subtle messages about peace and protection, about energy, love, and boundaries. One post read, "Protect your energy, guard your heart, love feels good when it's real." Another said, "Ladies, let him do what he wants so you can see who he is without your influence. Love safely." Those posts weren't random. They were the diary of a woman slowly recognizing the truth. The man she wanted to build with was emotionally dangerous. By June 2025, Keisha's social media suggested she was single again, though privately, things remained complicated. Despite the turmoil, the two had recently welcomed another baby earlier that year. The timeline made no sense to anyone watching from the outside, but it made perfect sense to anyone who's ever tried to hold a broken love together with hope. But by October, the situation had gone from strained to sinister. What was once a romantic partnership had become a battlefield. Love weaponized, trust shattered, and children caught in the middle. Then came October 12, 2025. According to police reports, Chris's sister called 911 after he told her that he had hurt Keisha. Before disappearing, he dropped off their 6-month-old baby and their 3-year-old son at his mom's home. When his sister arrived, the 3-year-old told her plainly, "My daddy shot Keisha." When officers entered the home, they found Keisha dead, a single gunshot wound to the forehead.
Halloween decorations are still up outside a Mesquite home that now sits empty. It's where investigators say 42-year-old Keisha Hilliard was shot and killed. Hilliard, a businesswoman, a loving friend, and a dedicated mother to 5 children.
She was like the best mother ever. She always put her kids first.
Kiabre Spain is the oldest. Spain says she talked to her mom Sunday morning.
And it just went to hell from there.
By early evening, ring video from a neighbor shows an officer on Hilliard's front lawn. Mesquite police say they responded to a welfare check off Avis Circle just after 4:15 p.m. on Sunday. Once officers made entry, they found Hilliard with a fatal gunshot wound. The investigation went late into the evening, eventually pointing detectives to 42-year-old Christopher Whitt. Whitt and Hilliard were in a relationship and just had a baby together 6 months ago. Family members tell us the newborn and Whitt's 3-year-old were home when the shooting happened. Both children are safe with family.
One day he gonna ask, "Where's my mama? Where's my dad?"
Where Whitt is an important question Mesquite police and the U.S. Marshals are still working on.
I wish I knew.
The family left confused, saying they never saw Whitt be aggressive. But they do have a message for him tonight.
Just turn yourself in, man. Come face justice.
During a police interview, Chris's son recounted what no child should ever have to witness, that his father pointed the gun, fired it, and left. He even said the gunshot was so close that it made his ears hurt. Chris fled the scene and went on the run for 11 days. While Keisha's family searched for answers and tried to process the unimaginable, he was hiding from responsibility the same way he always had. When police finally captured him and brought him back, He told Hilliard's family in a note that the shooting was an accident.
You know, it feels a lot better, man, that he's not on the street.
Relief?
It took a big toll on us. You know, you never think something like this would happen to your family.
And anger. Two emotions Malcolm Hilliard is juggling on the day he laid his sister, 42-year-old Keisha Hilliard, to rest. The same day, police charged her accused killer with murder. Longtime boyfriend, 42-year-old Christopher Whitt, who'd been on the run for nearly 2 weeks.
We're so glad that he's finally caught, and now that justice can be served, because him being on the run just gives my family a very unsettling feeling.
An unsettling feeling because on October 12th, Hilliard was found shot to death in her Mesquite home. A 7-month-old baby and a 3-year-old inside during it all, Malcolm says. Whitt, who Hilliard has a child with, abruptly dropped those children off at a family member's house and disappeared, he added. Mesquite PD found Hilliard after a welfare check and deemed Whitt the primary suspect. He was captured in South Dallas.
His story of events, you know, regardless of whatever, it doesn't matter because he shot her, he left her for dead, and that's it, man.
And as police closed in, Hilliard says his family received a handwritten note from Whitt explaining what happened, that he and Hilliard were arguing, a gun went off, and she was hit by a ricochet. Hilliard says, tell that to a judge.
Him doing that just makes him look more like a horrible person. We'll be waiting in the courtroom, and I want to talk to him about why he did this to my sister.
And as the Hilliards wait for that day, they're focusing on building a legacy for a mother who worked tirelessly for her kids. On the day she was laid to rest, this arrest met with heavy hearts. Justice catching up just as a family said goodbye.
But nothing adds up to murder. You don't murder somebody just because you're in your feelings or whatever the case may be. You don't need to kill anybody.
An accident. The word insulted everyone's intelligence. There was no accident. There was entitlement, rage, and cowardice. Chris had been unraveling for months, unable to cope with losing control over Keisha. And in a final act of twisted logic, he made sure that if he couldn't have her, no one else would. What's even more cruel is that he did it in front of their son, the same boy he claimed to love so much that he once cried about not seeing him. Now that same child will grow up without his mother because of the man who claimed to love them both. Keisha's family was shattered. She had spent her life creating beauty through art, through motherhood, through her resilience, only for it to be destroyed by the very person she once believed in. On October 24th, family and friends gathered to lay Keisha to rest. Just 6 months earlier, she had welcomed a new baby. Now, those children will grow up without her warmth, her laughter, or her love. Her family described her as a beautiful, energetic, and loving woman, someone who wanted peace and got chaos instead. Chris's downfall wasn't shocking. He was a man who never learned the responsibilities of freedom, only the routine of confinement. Prison had not reformed him. It had only paused him. And when time resumed, he carried the same emotional immaturity into a world that had already moved on. For Keisha, the tragedy was believing she could love a man into wholeness. For Chris, the tragedy was that he couldn't see the difference between love and ownership. Now, her name joins a long list of women who tried to build men who were still learning how to be human. May Keisha Hilliard rest in peace, a mother, artist, and woman who deserved safety, not salvation.